What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ICNV Drivers, and today we got another interesting conversation for you. So, the C9 Corvette, well, let's take a step back. Motor Trend has actually dropped the article about the C9 Corvette, and it has set the world on fire that now we're seeing so many videos, comments, and even articles now discussing the brand new C9 Corvette. Well, since you guys brought it up, I guess I need to talk about it. Let's go. As we dive into this conversation, I would like to share some information with you. That is, I have made a video about the C9 Corvette before, but with a little bit more information being released and some twists with the Grand Sport coming out, I want to revise it and go more into depth with that later. So in this video, we're going to talk about the information that has come out from Motor Trend and how I think this is actually going to play out. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of more detailed information I'm going to cover in the next video, so make sure you look for that one. But right now, what I want to sit there and say to you is, Motor Trend say the C9 Corvette is a lot closer than you actually think, and they may actually be right. My projections for the C9 Corvette was actually a late 2028 entry as a 2029 model year car. Motor Trend is projecting the C9 Corvette to be as early as 2030. And there were many times I made that same comment before that the C8 generation may run just as long as the 2030, and we may see the next C9 for a 2030 model year. But then as I start to look at things, I really feel like we may get a pre-launch, or should I say a pre-introduction to the C9 in 2028, ultimately making it a 2029 model year car. When you look at the previous generations of the Corvette, Corvettes typically run 6 to 8 years. And I think that's something that people need to pay attention to. The C8 model year has actually blown all previous Corvette production numbers, or should I say production numbers and production timelines out the window. And with this Grand Sport being introduced to the model that wasn't originally on the actual production, or should I say to be made list, it has actually extended production a lot longer. But what I think that actually says about the C8 Corvette is that the C8 Corvette has overall been the greatest Corvette ever built to the lineup. Now, I know I'm going to have some arguments. I know some people are going to sit there and say that's not true. But honestly, it's hard to argue over 225,000 produced units in such a small timeline and the length of the production cycle, because let's face it, most Corvettes don't see more than 110 to 150,000 units. The C8 has blown that out the way. At this point, they're almost doubling it. So I find it hard to argue the facts and the numbers. As they say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And the numbers are actually sitting there saying that this version, the C8 Corvette, has brought more Corvette buyers to the market space than any other generation before. And I think the C9 is going to step right up and carry that torch. With that being said, the Corvette next generation, we have seen 3 projected models to actually get exposed to us or give us a futuristic look at what the new Corvette should actually be. And then at the end of the day, we saw this model at the auto show. And what I learned from this model at the auto show was it gave me hope that the all-electric version of the Corvette was still a while away. Because if they were presenting a prototype at the auto show with an actual engine in the back, then that meant that we could possibly still get another gas engine version of a Corvette into the next model year run. And that has been a concern for a lot of people because of the force to electrification. Many people have speculated that the last C8 Corvette would be an all-electric Corvette. And when that didn't happen, even myself, I was starting to get more and more concerned that the C9 may be the first all-electric Corvette we ever get to experience. And that's part of the reason why GM actually extended the life of the C8. But to see this C9 prototype, or the next generation prototype, or as they call it, the CX prototype, that gave me hope that there will be another gas engine Corvette coming in the future. As I've stated before in multiple videos prior to this that we have already seen the C9 new platform riding around in our face, actually taunting us as the next generation or the next powertrain of the C9 Corvette has been tested today. So we've seen several cars, we still see cars today in camo that people are still predicting to be other things like myself, a Z06X. But even I sat there and said that even if it's not a Z06X, it's probably the new C9 platform being tested amongst other cars, hiding in, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing, hiding in something familiar that's still sparking us to not think about the future going forward. And what's captivating about this is the electric platform that we've all come to expect, and many of us expected the C9 to be the first all-electric Corvette. I don't think that would truly be the case. Will they stick with a normal pushrod V8? Will we see a modification to the flat plane crank engine? I think both options are something that could make its way to the C9 platform because the engineer team has just started to push the buck. And I do believe going forward that the enhancement upon any engine will be focused upon on the hybrid platform. We can't shake the hybrid platform moving forward. And the thing about the C8 platform, which while I agree with MotorTrend, is that the Corvette C8 platform has run so long that they had to do something to keep the sales going, which the updated interior was a nice facelift. But I've mentioned multiple times before that the C8 needed some form of a facelift to keep the run going. And if they don't give it a facelift, which could have been something simple as changing the headlights or a different headlight design, tightening up something, opening more breathing space, so forth, which we haven't seen happen to any of the models beyond the Z06, it became very evident that GM was going to ride this face or this look of the car out until the end of the model year run. So after being out already for 7 years, you heard me correctly, 7 years, and we're already into the 8th model year of production, it just seems like it's time for a different look. As we are projecting to go into the 9th model year, meaning that the Grand Sport has just come out, it has taken over the primary production numbers, but we ultimately expect the 2-year run with the Grand Sport, which will hopefully put somewhere between 30 to 40,000 cars in the market space, which many people will probably end up chasing the Grand Sport for the legacy of the C8 generation as the most affordable Corvette, the most bang for your buck Corvette ever introduced to the marketplace. And behind that, I expected to see the C9, which is why I said the C9 to me would come after the 9th model year of the C8. It just kind of made a little bit more logical sense. But what I will project and just sit there and say going forward is that my speculation about the C9 Corvette is that we have seen all these CX prototypes, and what we have learned from the C8 generation is that the X stands for hybrid system all-wheel drive, that I believe that when we saw the CX concept and all the CX concepts brought and presented to us, that was the indication that the C9 is going to be a hybrid platform Corvette. So let me know what you think about that in the comments below. I truly believe that going forward, the hybrid platform is definitely here to stay, and all-wheel drive is the future of the Corvette platform going forward. And just like we've seen across many other brands, the hybrid platform is being introduced to help prolong the life of the gas engine because electrification has been heavily pushed. And I think that's how we're going to start out the C9 generation. If you think I'm missing the mark with this, let me know in the comments below. But ultimately right now, what I will give you in this video as a spoiler going into my next is that I believe that out of all the models we've seen and presented, that there's going to be a combination of the look from all three combined into one car. I also believe the CX platform that we've been seeing, that is the indication that everything going forward with the 9th generation will be a hybrid platform. Or if we do get a non-hybrid version, it will probably be the introductory version of the car with everything stepping up from that being a hybrid platform vehicle. And last I would like to say is that what we have seen thus far is very promising going forward for the future, because I believe that The engines that you have seen thus far with the C8 platform will only get amplified and enhanced going forward with the C9 generation. So look forward to that next video as we dive deeper into those conversations. But for right now, tell me if you actually believe what Motor Trend has come out and said, that 2030 will be the first model year of the C9. Do you think I'm more correct when I say that I think 2029 will be the first model year of the C9 Corvette? But either way, it's time for a change and we can't wait to embrace it. So ICNV Drivers, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the ICNV Drivers community. We're an interactive community, which means if you hit me up on any one of my social media platforms, on the comments below, I'll do my best to respond. If the topic you bring up is interesting enough, just like this one, I may even shoot a video on it. But don't forget, we're also a community of car enthusiasts that love to drive cars to make you turn your head, that aren't your everyday people movers. If you're one of those individuals, go ahead and lock into the channel, subscribe to your boy. We have more interesting content like this coming your way that you don't want to miss out. Remember, we were all made in his image and given dominion over the world, which means we weren't just meant to be. So chase your dreams, build your visions, never ever give up, and embrace your own identity. We were all given unique gifts to become the best versions of us that we can possibly be. So step into your calling and become a blessing to the world that you were meant to be. Remember, you can be the one and not the one at the same time, because it's okay to be unique. Just stay humble, stay focused, and stay blessed. And I'll see you in these streets. Peace.